to say without further ado. No? All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Weekly Shot. We have a ton of content, so we're just going to dive in. And one of the things that I've been hearing a lot about is low inventory. Low inventory. I've been to every office in the company, and I hear about low inventory all the time. And this is something that David and I are going to talk about, another opportunity for you to find inventory that will be a lot less competitive. So, David, you have done successful real estate developments in the past.
Yes.
You have taken it all the way from dirt to foundation and up, all the way from dirt to plans, every step in the process. You're very talented at this, and you're leading out our new homes division, so thank you for doing that.
My pleasure. It's one of my passions, so it dovetails very, very good for me.
Yeah,
so.
Good. Yeah, get people doing what they're passionate about, and you tend to get a really good result. So let's just talk a little bit about, we're talking about new homes, and then we dive right in and talk about inventory, right?
Yeah.
But that's an access point that maybe many of us, I know when I was selling, I almost never showed new home developments.
Well, and that happened in the past because I think the development community was a little silly because they would not pay commissions to agents.
Right.
But the whole philosophy has changed, and so I'm kind of here to spread the word that philosophy has changed. Actually, we're doing a partnership with Standard Pacific, or we're working on it. And if you go to the Standard Pacific subdivision, they do pay 3%.
Hey.
I notice a lot of agents are taking listings at 5%, so they're only getting 2.5%. So they can make more money right away by bringing their clients to a subdivision and do less work.
Right.
So they can do more prospecting.
Right. Where do you think, do you think it's just that history during the real boom time of the lack of cooperation from the new home builders? Is that?
I think so because, I talk to a lot of agents and they say to me, what new homes? And so I put up maps and show maps.
They're just not cognizant.
Yeah. They've erased it from their memory.
I think, too, as human beings, we're creatures of habit. We're creatures of pattern. When we create good habits, we get good results. When we create poor habits, we get poor results, right?
Yeah.
And we tend to get a buyer, meet a buyer, take them through the buyer consultation, find out what they can buy, get them pre-approved, what's important to them, and then we go where? We go to the MLS. And new homes don't show up for the most part on the MLS, and it's just not in our normal methodology that we learned when we first ever learned how to sell houses. And so because it's not on the MLS and it's not to that normal place that we go to look, we've got to go outside that, then it just doesn't hit the consciousness maybe as much as it should.
That's true. Now, one of your offices is really good. I went up and spoke in Antioch, and they have a program where they automatically go out and kind of survey those new home communities. So I was really thrilled about that.
Yeah.
But we have to get to the rest of the company too.
Sure, and it's a mindset, right?
It is a mindset.
So, talk to us just a little bit about what's going on, the new home boom, etc.
So I would say before the downturn, we were building for the past 20 years. This is the United States on an average of 1.2 to 1.3 million homes a year. More recently, we're building around 400,000. So there's quite a big disparity, and so we need to make up all these homes. In fact, I sat on the planning commission for the city of Santa Rosa for 8 years. And I was there during the boom years, and I was there when they turned the spigot off.
Right.
And it was quite amazing. I mean, in the old days, we were meeting every week. We had 6, 7 items a night. We were going till midnight. And then suddenly, we're not having meetings.
There's nothing to talk about.
Period.
Right.
In fact, staff was making up vision plans and specific plans, just stuff for us to work on so that,
there was something to do.
There was something to do. So there's quite a need for it. And if you start looking at some of the cities, so like Antioch, I went up there to speak with them, and what they have on their books and what's going to be coming is quite exciting. So there's a lot of stuff. And there was a lot of stuff that, developers put the brakes on.
Right.
But the state continued to give extensions to these maps. So these maps are still ready to roll, and we've got them coming.
I mean, they had the dirt, they've got the approval, they really just didn't want to build because they didn't want to have the expense, so they cut payroll.
Well, and also there was no financing for homes. I mean, everything just
stopped
down.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about what we have coming up then on March 12th, because that's a way that people can get certified.
Yeah, so this is a certification to become a new homes agent, and what this is going to give you is the background and the lingo and just how to talk with developers, how to present yourself at open home, for new homes, and just kind of a whole background for the new homes thing. And I know some people have sold new homes, but this goes much more in depth. I mean, I'm a developer, and I went through this program, and it's still fascinating and was very informative. So they're coming on March 12th to the Holiday Inn in San Francisco. And for anyone that wants to add a new component, and I think a very good component to your business, I mean, you can make extra money in a different place. This is the place to come. And so after this, then you'll be part of my new homes division, and we're going to be meeting, I don't know, every 2 to 3 weeks, and kind of doing a mastermind thing and kind of getting everyone together so that we're working as a company, and we're, I think, probably the only company doing this to grab this new business.
And the certification, a certification is just some letters after your name, right? But what it does is it arms you and helps open doors. Sort of like, I went to college not necessarily because I was truly passionate about taking accounting 101 and 201. It had more to do with I knew the interviews that I got post-college were going to be better than the interviews I would get without. And to me, this is similar. It opens some doors, prepares you for conversations, whether you're going and doing infill projects, trying to secure a builder as a client, or just taking buyers to new home developments. So it gives you more information so that you can do your job better.
Well, I mean, just like you just said, infill projects. I bet a lot of agents don't know what that is, or even a tentative map, or how do I get to a tentative map? I mean,
every map I look at is tentative. I'm lost all the time. It's ridiculous.
So, and that's kind of where I'll take you to afterwards.
Well, you've got some different pipelines here, just to give some context into the growth of new homes and permits, et cetera, for some metropolitan areas in our footprint. So just share with us a little bit about what you've discovered as you've done your research.
Yeah, so I started to look. I mean, I wanted to see, how many units are coming online or have the possibility to come online. I mean, I understand some of these may have their issues and may or may not come online. But if you look here at San Francisco, this is what they're projecting, and this is their development pipeline.
Right.
And if you look at the bottom, net units, they're talking about over 50,000 new units coming online.
Wow.
And I want to see our company grab at least half of it.
Fine with me. But even if not, as an agent, what that means is, and this is just using San Francisco as an example, again, if inventory is low, make new homes part of, go out, even if you don't have a client today, go out, meet with the builder, walk the models, maybe snap a few pictures for yourself so that you create in your head the archetype that would buy. Oh, this is a first-time home buyer house. Oh, this is a move-up house. Oh, this one doesn't have any stairs. This would be good for an empty nester. Start to know what floor plans and developers have and who would be a fit for that at that price point, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also, here's the other thing, too. Okay, so you're complaining about not having enough inventory on MLS. Well, this is, for me, kind of secret inventory.
Yep.
And the competition is like, I don't know if you've got competition.
It's a lot less. I mean, you've got the builder doing marketing, and they're going to bring their own people in. But for the most part, what percentage of real estate agents consistently show new home inventory?
Yeah, but
maybe 5%, maybe 10%.
Listen to this. So you're talking about that. Okay, so up in Antioch, I went into Standard Pacific's new development up there, or old development up there. But anyways, I talked to them. So they've got they've got another 100 units coming on, and their absorption rate is 4 to 5 units a month.
Right. Right.
So what competition do you have?
Right, exactly. So you've got San Francisco with 50,000 low competitive units coming on. You've got some projects here that you're outlining for Oakland.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so, I wanted to hit the other big city, or not other, but
More.
Yeah. And over in Oakland, you've got quite a bit coming on. And if you look at this, over 80 projects, and if you look, 139 units, 100 units,
Mm-hmm.
it's quite a lot coming on. And I'd like to see us, get in there and get some of these before they go onto the market.
Right.
And that's the idea too. I mean, here the agents in my division, my vision is, taking some of these projects and bring the project to the developer, and then they create whatever they create.
Right.
15, 20 units, 100 units, but usually with most of the guys I've worked with, if I bring them something up front, I get the back end later on.
Sure. Find the opportunities, right?
Mm-hmm.
Find the deals. You've got some more here in Santa Rosa, 105 projects waiting to be built.
Mm-hmm.
Fremont, 92 projects, which I assume translates to hundreds
Oh my God.
of units, if not. I
Yeah,
mean,
it was crazy. It was crazy what's going on in Fremont and San Jose.
yeah. Then the next one's San Jose. Let's dive in on San Jose a little bit. It looks like that's north of 7,000 units, something like that.
This was interesting because this was approved projects that were not yet under construction. There were also pages for projects that were under construction and projects that are being proposed. I mean, this was incredible.
Right.
I mean, San Jose is blowing up.
Yeah.
So good thing we got an office down there.
Yeah. Nice. Well done. Okay. So, I mean, I think what you're doing is illustrating the point that we have a lot of inventory that's out there and available. We do have a question from the audience. When you're getting these projects, all these various projects, what source, where are you pulling that from?
Each city.
So you're going down to the city and pulling the permit record, or?
You can get these online,
Okay,
actually.
got it.
Yeah. And
Okay.
if anyone wants to call me or email me, you can email me at david.poulsen@bhghome.com.
Okay.
I'm happy to help you. Or better yet, just join my new homes division and
Go to the class and learn all about
and
it.
I show you. And these are the things I show you. I
Yeah.
show you how to go and find inventory
Good.
for yourself.
Any-
You're going to create your own business.
Do you pull anything from commercial, or do you just primarily focus on residential?
Oh, I do it all.
Do it all. Okay.
Yeah, I have a background in also commercial development too.
Okay.
So.
Good. So let's talk about, I mean, why are there opportunities in new home sales? Talk just a little bit about that component.
So the opportunities in new home sales are kind of what I've been talking about. All these things are, you're creating your own new business, and really most agents are not cognizant of this. And so
Yep.
That's why I really like
So the real summary there is, here's all the reasons to do it.
Yeah, these are all the reasons.
But the bottom line is, each one of those should just say, more money, more money, more money, more money, more money. Because the point we're really driving home is, if we have, look, if there's abundance of inventory on the MLS, fine. Maybe you don't need to feather this into your business. You can still go, earn the income you're used to earning.
Well,
but with the you still should. But
can I say easy money?
Yes.
Because here's the idea too. I mean, if you want to keep your traditional business, that's great. Take your client here, drop them off.
Right.
I'm not saying don't keep in touch with them,
Right.
but man, you're not doing the paperwork and everything. So now you got more time to go back and prospect your traditional way.
Yeah, if you've ever done one, you know that the ease of doing a new home transit, because the new home builders have their own contract they like to work from, that their attorneys have put together, their own lender, they got their whole process. And they aren't going to do a unique process with you, so what you end up giving them is your client. You still maintain contact with them. You still stay in relationship with them. But they manage the process, and for you, a check comes out of the other
Well,
end.
and how about this? How about no pest report blowing up your deal at the last minute?
Right.
You
So
know?
what are all the different ways that I can take this certification and do some different things with it?
Well, so take the certification in San Francisco, and then you'll come out, and then I'm going to start with you and showing you how to go after some of this stuff. So I'll give you an example. So Melissa Case and I, we took a listing on a lot in Lafayette on Friday. And
I know I was going to write on it until I found out how many offers you had.
I know, sorry about
Jerks.
that.
Jeez, I can't even. I run the dang thing. I can't even get any help on a.
And we did something a little innovative. We were going to
tease me with the lot,
and we teased you with the lot. And we did an open house on it, which a couple people said to me, "What? You're doing what? You can't do an open house on a lot." And I said, "Why not?" And so we had a little table out there with a set of plans, and a little umbrella kept us.
Didn't rain.
Didn't rain. We had signs up and down the boulevard. We had 10 people come by, 8
Perfect.
of which were small builders and developers. So we got a nice little list of developers in Lafayette. And Monday morning we opened escrow.
Yeah.
Sorry, Keith.
No, I know you did. Jerks. Just kidding. I'm really glad that you opened escrow, not with me. Thanks a lot.
But that's just an example of there is quite an appetite right now.
True. There is, especially on, there's a lot of builders. The big ones they made it through. They're hanging around, but they had projects that they turned off that they're now turning back on, and they're still trying to buy dirt and looking for deals and opportunities. They always are. That's what they do. But there's a lot of, small and medium-sized builders that completely left the industry. They just went away. And
well, I'll tell you what, they're hidden.
Right.
Actually, if you go look. They're probably your flippers. They're today's flippers.
They did something.
Yeah.
Right. But they're now coming back into this space. And, you're hearing discussions around spec homes, which we haven't heard in 5-6 years. A lot of discussion around these things. Got these little infill guys like me trying to buy lots in Lafayette and then getting beat out by the competition, even though they're good friends with the listing agent. So
hey, come on. We don't do inside deals.
I know we never would, and I'm super glad that those people got that lot and I didn't. Thank you. Yeah, up there, very happy with their piece of dirt. And I hope the soils report's really expensive. All right.
Sorry, it was already done by the previous owner.
I'm such a bitter loser. The benefits of new home marketing. What are the benefits? What do I get for marketing new homes to my clients? Because I get a little nervous, right? A lot of us in this business are control freaks, and we have this odd feeling of sort of sending our clients away, and I may hear from them in 60 days, and they're going to buy a house, and I don't have any input in that whole thing, and it feels weird. So
no, and just the opposite. I want you there. I want you there, holding their hand and just helping out like you would usually. And also, here's another piece of business you're going to pick up. So now you're going to start being seen in the subdivision, right?
Right.
And you're going to start becoming the neighborhood expert, right?
Yep.
So that's kind of what I want you to do.
Right. So you've got a great slide here, that one, thank you, that I think really just hits all the highlights.
Yes. So, I mean, like I said, a lot of agents are taking 5% listings, which they shouldn't be doing, but they
different show for a different time.
I know. But, here's a way to up your bottom line. So they'll give you 3%. Some of the higher luxury type subdivisions, they may pay a flat fee, but a lot of them, they're being quite generous. And again,
currently, right now, you will see erosion on that if the market continues to heat up, right? Builders,
everything changes.
Everything changes.
Now, everything changes in every aspect of life, but right now, that's what's happening.
And usually fear, which is that control piece that I was talking about, where some agents will have this fear of, sort of sending their clients off into new homeland alone. Fear comes from a lack of knowledge. And if you go and get to know the manager of that new home subdivision and shake hands and have a cup of coffee with them and spend time with him or her and really learn and understand and get to know them as a face and as a human, lower some of those fear fantasies that you have.
Well, you want an inside tip?
Yes.
So those people that I am friends with, guess what? I get the first phone call
Right.
of, oh, hey,
So-and-so
by the
fell
way,
out.
yeah, this fell out, or the developers just added a new incentive.
Right.
Oh, on top of your 3% commission, they're adding another $10,000 if you sell this unit within this week.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's
like I said, more money.
And it's a relationship business. Mm-hmm. And really, truly, I mean, if you wanted to have the debate, we won't do it here, but if anyone wants to come meet me for beverages after 5 p.m., we could have the debate on, I believe you owe it as a fiduciary to your client to know at least a cursory knowledge of what's going on with new home sales.
I agree.
Because they expect you to know the full depth and breadth of the market, and not knowing anything about a new home community is a problem, because we owe it to our clients to know the entire marketplace for them. And just at least having a functioning knowledge, in my opinion, is part of the job and what we provide to our clients. So
we just took on a new I know we're taking another office over in Solano County, and I know they have a book in the office of all the subdivisions, and they just make sure all their agents go through those subdivisions.
It's a great idea. So talk to me a little bit about Standard Pacific Homes.
So our leader, Ed Kraftchow, has set up meetings with Standard Pacific Homes, and I've been meeting with him, and we've had these great meetings that we're moving ahead with relationships with them. How and what that's going to look like, I'm not totally sure yet. We're working on that, but we're having a lot of our offices go into a Standard Pacific subdivision and check it out. And actually I love their product.
Yeah.
I mean, they build a very nice product.
Yes.
So for some people, they say, where is Standard Pacific? So that's why I made this slide.
There you go.
Start to get an idea of where they're at.
And we'll make these slides available to everyone on the show. We'll push them out to you along with David's contact information. And here you got Meritage Homes.
I put on Meritage. We're also going to be talking to them, but just so you could see, I always have this comment, we have no new homes in our area. So if I put up KB Homes, I mean, there's so many different DR Horton. I don't know.
Right.
If anyone's having a hard time, please call me.
I'll
show you where the new home.
If you're saying I don't have any new homes in your area, what you're saying is you just haven't gone out to find them. Yeah. I mean, because they're there. I absolutely guarantee you in every marketplace, in every city in Northern California.
In fact, I just got a flyer for new homes in Marin, and if of all the places in the Bay Area
that would be least likely to have one,
new homes,
it would be Marin. Right. And new homes mean something different in every marketplace, right? These units that are going in San Francisco, most of them aren't single-family homes. Most of them are condos. Same in Oakland, probably condos, townhomes.
Yes.
As you get more towards Manteca, probably more likely to be single-family homes.
Yeah.
But just make it part of your process so that you have a deep understanding of the new home marketplace so that you can serve and honor the client.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is just one more time. We're setting up for everybody what we've got coming up on March 12th. You want to just highlight this for us just quickly, David?
Yeah. So again, come out, get your certified new home specialist and also residential construction certified designations. And then afterwards, we'll keep up with you, or you'll keep up with me in the new homes division. And we're going to make this company rock in new homes. I mean, the opportunity is so incredible.
It is. It's there.
And I just want everyone to make tons of money and be happy.
There's one other piece in this that, I think two reasons I think this course has so much value is, one, the certification, which opens doors, which you already talked about. The second is they have an opportunity to meet with you on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And I know for me, if you've been doing this a little while, it's fun. You love working with buyers and sellers, showing property is always fun and interesting, and getting to know people and meeting with sellers is great, but it can get a little repetitive. It can get a little Cheerios mushed into your car seat and, all that stuff. It's fun every once in a while to have a different kind of conversation.
Yeah.
And going and meeting with a new home developer or meeting with investors to try to understand what they're looking for in an infill project, or meeting with a small and medium-sized builder about, hey, tell me what the best developments look like for you. What cities do you focus on? That conversation, it's just a different kind of conversation, and it erodes some of the burnout and boredom that we can have in this business.
I got two other points.
Please.
One, how about quick cash? Now,
Sure.
most of these guys are doing 10-day closes.
Right.
Maybe a little longer.
Sure.
But, man, it's always a quick check in your pocket. And how about repeat business?
Yeah.
Because once you sell them, they build it, then you're selling that, and then they're looking for something else.
Right.
So you're working with the same guys over and over again.
And
so
as trust,
I like that.
as trust gets, it's multiple transactions, right? Especially if you're the one to identify the infill project. Look, even if it's only 3 acres and they do, 6-8 houses, that's still 6 or 8 listings.
Houses,
yeah,
or actually 7 because you sold them.
You sold them the dirt,
right?
and then 18 months or 24 months or however much later you're
Not
getting.
even that long.
Depends,
so
right?
It depends.
To be fully sold out. But the whole point is, I think if you're interested in it, go for it, because it unlocks your thinking around having just a different kind of conversation. It really helps with burnout, and they get a lot of direct coaching and mentorship from you.
Yes.
Where what are you going to do in the next 2 weeks to go out and sort of and really internalize this process and learn more about how to do it, which is invaluable. Having that kind of direct mentorship and coaching is really important.
And I forgot to mention this. So one of our offices.
Now this is an infomercial. One more thing. Now how much would you pay?
I know. I'm sorry. But our office in El Cerrito,
Right.
So at the end of the subdivision,
Yep.
a lot of the time the bigger builders don't want to waste their time with 5, 6, 7 houses.
And their money because they got to pay a sales crew.
Exactly.
Yep.
So a lot of the time they'll turn it over to a local real estate company, and our El Cerrito office took, 15, 17
right.
new homes
Yep.
that they get to finish out the subdivision.
Yeah.
That, for a lot of people, that would make their year.
That's right.
I mean, that's pretty awesome.
It is. And a great opportunity to get that many listings. David, thank you so much for bringing your expertise into this for us and really helping us get this off the ground. I really appreciate you taking the mentorship approach that you take to this business so that we can really get some results for people who have this as a passion and something that they want to do.
My pleasure, and go BHG.
Go be. All right, good deal.
Take care.
Thanks, David. All right, so now we're going to shift gears just a little bit from new home construction and how you can feather that into your business. We're going to talk about something that's interesting. I've had probably no less than 7 conversations on this just in the last 2 weeks. I think, and Katie and I are just going to riff on this a little bit, but I think a lot of real estate professionals during the downturn sort of said, just let me get to the next market. Please just let me make it to the next market. And then we got to the next market and they went, oh, crap, this is hard too. Yeah. And I just get this sense sometimes when I talk to agents in the field with our company, with other companies, just a little tired.
Different kind of
hard. And we went from too much inventory to no inventory and this whole balance thing is, and we're going to talk more about this, but this myth of balance sometimes creates a lot of pressure on ourselves. So Katie is someone who's had, top producing real estate agent. She's got like 37 kids. She lives in a shoe. No,
I have a dog.
She has 3 beautiful kids. If you aren't Facebook friends with her, you should be because it's hilarious. She has a dog and a husband and a lot of demands on her time. Yet she still manages to have a smile on her face most of the time, sell a ton of houses, and have a great attitude about it. So really a great person to sort of have as the spokesperson for work-life balance. So you had a corporate gig before. What did you do before? Just give us the 30 seconds.
The quick elevator speech.
Yes.
I was an account manager with a direct marketing company in San Francisco.
Sounds riveting.
It was very exciting.
Yeah.
It was very exciting. No, it was. I worked with Schwab and Sony.
Now it's getting interesting.
Can I say sexy? It was very sexy.
Super
very
sexy.
sexy.
I say
photo
sexy
shoots,
all the time.
All that.
You cannot say
stuff.
sexy photo shoots, though. That's not okay.
Well, when it comes to consumer electronics.
Oh, okay. All right. Got it.
We made it very sexy.
Well, why'd you leave it?
Well, good question. So I just had gotten to a place where I wanted more balance. I loved it. I had a great career. My husband and I were at a point in our life where we thought, you know what, we're kind of ready for the next stage. And so real estate had always been something I wanted to do. So I kind of just went for it in the great year of 2005.
Perfect timing.
Perfect timing.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So you had this experience as a direct marketing and
Yep.
Yeah. And so how did that translate? What did that bring to your real estate career? How did that help you?
I think it's helped a lot. My job in marketing, I was a client manager. So all I did was manage people, manage their problems, put out fires.
Sounds a lot like real estate so
yeah,
far.
Right. You know, I had to shoulder the stress of when something wasn't going to print on time.
Right.
I told Kathy this. We had a huge, like 50,000 mailer going out on golf for Schwab, and then Phil Mickelson won the U.S. Open, and we had to change all of our creative in like 24 hours.
Because you didn't think he was going to win?
Well, no, we just didn't. We hadn't featured him, and Phil was sponsored by Schwab, and it was a long time ago. But so
I get it.
Talk about craziness on a Monday morning, right?
Damn lefty.
Yeah, right. So I think that ability to kind of shoulder the stress and for me, I really project manage. I think I'm big on schedules and calendars and timelines,
right? And
I love that.
Yeah.
So I try to carry that across.
Good. And real estate's paid you back.
Yeah.
How's it paid you back?
Well, I think, you know, when we chose to go for it, we wanted me to be in a position where I could still contribute to the family from the bottom line standpoint, but also have a balance as our family grew. And we weren't planning on having twins, and we did have twins.
Yay!
Yay! Yeah, and I'm still here.
Right.
And so, you know, with all that, for those reasons, it definitely helped. It allowed me to be intentional about my decision making with my business.
Yeah.
To focus on my kids, but also still keep my business going and grow it patiently. I think really for me.
Yeah. I want to talk about the twins and the kids in that piece in just a second.
Yeah.
But let's just sort of finish up on your background here.
Yeah.
So you did 14 transactions in 2013, best year ever for you.
Yeah.
While having the twins and the dog and the husband and the other kid and robust life. When did the tide turn? When did it all start to kind of click for you?
I think, I really think it was probably 2011, 2012. I think that it was, I kind of figured out what I needed, how I needed to be supported. And I think that I finally got strong enough to be brave in my decision making. I think that I finally got to the point where I was okay saying, I'm not picking up the phone after 5 o'clock. Or,
good. I'm glad you said that.
That sort of thing. And there were many times when I listened to all these business planning seminars or go to trainings and, you know, do not answer the phone, set your hours. And in real estate, you know, oh, you're working 24/7. Like I finally got to a point where I realized I don't have to.
Right.
And that to me is the balance. And that to me is being intentional, setting my clients' expectations, being able to be reactive and respond to them, but also, you know, also being able to say, I have a life, I have a family. I have to prioritize. I have to be intentional and clear about my priorities.
Now, when did you have the twins?
2007.
Yeah. Okay, so now you've got everybody running around, everybody in 2007, 8, 9, 10,
2008 was really, really hard once they started walking. 2009 was a tough year.
But from a scheduling standpoint, now you've got like school and probably sports and activities and plays and. So your schedule really explodes. From what I've heard, my little girl's only 2, but from what I've heard, your schedule kind of explodes when they turn 5.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah, one of my twins has special needs, and the other one has like 4 sports that she plays. So it's a lot, and I think that on that, again, I'm very lucky. I've just kind of tried to create a support network. There's no way I could ever do this without support, whether it's friends, family, hiring somebody.
But what I find interesting is once you become a wise steward of your time, other people will become a wise steward of your time.
Yes, I totally agree.
I think and I've talked about this, all over the country, blah blah blah. So this is you and I are simpatico right now.
Totally.
But people, there's a certain amount of codependent activities in residential real estate, and I think those of us, person included, that have some codependent behavior styles, we really are attracted to this industry because people need you, quote, unquote, not really, but we feel that we're needed all the time.
Yeah.
And man, it feels good in the beginning to just have someone who needs you all the time. You're like, people need me. I'm important.
Yeah.
But that doesn't scale. And you cannot do a large book of business with that leadership style for your clients. And learning to tell a client no was one of the hardest things for me in my career, because there's so much conditioning and brainwashing around customers always right, 24/7 agent. If I don't return their call in 13 seconds, I'll lose them as clients.
And it's even harder now with the information that's out there for your clients. It's even harder to combat that when they say, oh, I just saw this online, blah, blah, blah. And you think, I need to react instantly.
Right.
So it is a constant work in process, work in process.
But the more you honor your time,
the
more I've found other people will honor your time.
I think they respect it. I really think you build respect. They respect you as a professional and as a person. I mean, I just think to be able to delineate between I'm a mom right now, and I would love to answer your question, and I will, but I'm a mom right now. I think that has been, and it blends, and you have to blend with it. But I think that people really respect that. I completely agree.
And the kids piece, maybe just because I've got one now, right? But we tend to, as real estate professionals, we're very comfortable martyring ourselves to our business, and we'll sacrifice anniversary dinners, and we'll sacrifice our birthday, and we'll sacrifice a lot of stuff, personal, that's our stuff. But anyone who's had kids, right? You mess with me all you want, you mess with my kids, and it's going to get weird fast, right? We're not willing to sacrifice that time for our children. Now, I'm not, look, if you don't have kids, I'm not saying go have one. That's not how you create work-life balance, at all. But you do learn the skill. Well,
it's whatever my husband and I always joke, in air quotes, whatever your church is. Like, you need to value that. You need to prioritize that. Like for us, my husband plays in an outdoor Sunday soccer league. And that is what we do as a family on Sundays. That is our church. We go, we play, we watch him, we go to the park, we might have lunch. And then at 12 o'clock, it's go time for me.
Right.
And I'm off and I do my work. But I have my family time. I designate it. I'm intentional about where I block that in.
And if you don't have a family yet, it might be the gym or
cycling, whatever. If you want to get outside and go hiking,
going for a run, or
totally. You
recovering from the night before, whatever it is, be really purposeful about it.
Completely.
So when you look at the end game for you, right? How does it all fit together? Have you achieved balance?
No.
No. Right.
I think that. So when I talk about looking at the end game, every year I feel like I'm trying to figure it out.
Right.
And it changes every year. I think that, like I said, the reasons that we got into it is so that I can support the family, but also, be driving the kids around.
Right.
And so I try to be thoughtful about that all the time. And I look at, okay, this year I have 2 in school full time.
Right.
So what can I do? What can I add to my plate?
Right.
Next year I'm going to have this.
Right.
So as much as I can tell you how many times I sit in Earl's office and I'm like, I want to do this. I want to do that. And he looks at me and goes, Katie, slow down.
Right.
This is where you are. And it's great. I mean, I appreciate that. And there's so much I want to do, but I have to look at the big picture and slowly add things to my plate as I go.
Yeah, it's not, I guess I'd describe it this way. I've seen and observed, and I'm guilty of this myself, we'll often dramatically over-idealize what we can do in 1 year.
Yes.
And dramatically under-idealize what we could do in 10.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, no, yeah, I agree.
What we can do in 1 year, there's so much, but we always think we can do more in a year than we actually can.
Yep.
But you think about where you were 10 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And where you are today and how your life's different and how you were able to accomplish so much.
And even from a business perspective, 3 years ago, the slowly cultivating all of it. I mean, I just tried to go slow.
Yeah, yeah. So you mentioned a question from the audience.
Yeah.
You mentioned your support system, your support network. You dive into that a little more. Does your mother-in-law live across the street? Do you have a nanny? Like, what does that support system look like?
So I have a mother-in-law who lives not far.
Nice.
Not close, but not far. So she helps out.
Mm-hmm.
I have I would say I have neighbors who, my village, if you will, that I can call like this morning, hey, can you take so-and-so to school? I have to be, somewhere at whatever time.
Right.
So I kind of have a short list of people that I trust.
Mm-hmm.
I have babysitters that I know are flexible.
You mean
hard
you're not just pinning a 20 on their shirt and leaving them on the porch?
No.
Okay.
Here's a key.
Yeah.
They're 6 years old. Have
See
fun.
you at 5.
Just press power, Yeah. So I try to be realistic, and that kind of goes back to with my clients.
Mm-hmm.
If they say I want to see a house now, I say, well, I'm sorry, I can't. My daughter has an appointment.
Right.
I'd love to show you something tomorrow on Wednesday. I'm available between 9 and 12.
Now, with the market conditions being what they are and inventory being what it is, I can already hear people's brains shutting down when you say, I can show it to you tomorrow.
Yeah.
How do you balance all that? Truthfully, does it cost you deals? Do you think it does?
I think, well, yes and no.
Mm-hmm.
I think that how I've built my business,
right.
Most of the people that I work with are my friends or are friends of friends.
Mm-hmm.
I've built a referral-based business. And I will not lie. I've shown houses with 5 car seats in my car.
Right.
My kids and my clients' kids.
Right.
And I work with people that I want to work with and that want to work with me, and they understand who I am and what I'm made of, and they respect that.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think that as we internalize that more and more as professionals, right? As we get more comfortable telling a client no, we are if you aren't, I guess you really have control in your business and you really start to, you own your business. You're running your business instead of your business running you when you're willing to fire a client.
Yes.
Right? When you're willing to say, thank you. I'm sure you're great people, but your commission means less to me than myself.
Yep.
And my financial future doesn't depend on the decision you make.
Exactly.
You can tell that's my script, and I've said that to clients before, that my financial future does not depend on the decision that you make. And if we don't work together, it's okay with me.
Yep.
And I'm not going to.
It's a huge point to get to.
Yeah. And it's a mental shift. It's different.
It is
different.
Really it's weird. I'm sorry. It's weird.
Yeah.
Just because you go into this business thinking, I'm going to work hard, I'm going to do great, I'm going to do this. And then all of a sudden, so-and-so comes in and you're like, ooh.
Yeah, not so much.
Not going to be fun for me. This is going to create so much stress in my life, and I don't need that.
Yeah.
I've got 10 other people who I adore and who adore me, and I will love working with them.
Yeah.
I don't need this person or this transaction. It's
that,
not,
That mindset has been one of the things that, whether it's arrogance or hubris or stupidity or whatever, I've felt that way most of my professional career, that I wasn't going to do what I didn't think was right. I was not going to work with people I didn't want to work with, whether it was as an employee or as an independent contractor. And it's served me so well. It's there's a whole lot of mistakes I've made. That's one of the things I got right.
Yeah. I think it's a really hard place to come to, though.
Yeah.
But you can get there, and I think it's strong. I think it comes from a place of strength.
And people respect it.
Yes.
And so everybody, you heard it here first. Katie said fire a client today. Managers all over wetting the bed right now, totally freaked out.
Yeah. Sorry.
So most of your business was from referral, which is good.
Yeah.
Maybe sometime offline I want to talk to you about how to grow your non-referred business, because
trust me.
Yes, you can do it. But how did you achieve this? Was that sort of always your plan and what you had architected? Talk just a little bit about that.
No, not always in my plan. I would say it's a nature of where my life is. It's something that, and this is kind of, I have a couple slides later. Okay. When I look at where my life is, what I'm doing on a day-by-day basis, I am old school relationship building.
Yeah.
Old school. And I think that it's down to presenting an offer in person, always asking if you can. Many agents won't say, oh, just email it to me. Oh, no, I'll drop it off at your office. I always attempt to do that. I think that I love technology, but I think that old school does not go anywhere with relationship. It needs to be there.
I agree.
So I think that it's just come from that, being on the soccer field with people, talking to people, with my kids, getting into activities. It's just happened that way. So I just have kind of run with it. I have picked up people at open houses. I have, I know where my strengths are. Again, just back to business planning, I have to know where my time is and where I want to prioritize, where, what's working for me and what do I have time for. So it really just has happened that way. I would like to grow my business in the more, traditional, if you will, real estate marketing, prospecting techniques. But I have to look at my year and say, okay, what do I have time for?
Right. And where does that fit?
Can I add that funnel to my pipeline?
Right. And referred business, I mean, it's interesting. Referred business has higher trust. Higher trust is more willing to map to your plan as opposed to forcing theirs upon you, right? So there's a lot of synergies between what's important to you and how you build your business. And in just an observer of it, that's no mistake, right?
Yes.
Like, I'm going to sound very Californian right now, but the universe will sort of create what you allow the space for.
Yes.
And what you've really said is, I kind of have the space for referred business, and that's where most of my stuff's going to come from because of where I am in my life and because of what's important to me.
Exactly.
And it's going to have to sort of architect around that.
And that's kind of my balance that I have achieved right now.
That's cool. Cool. Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah. So often we think we have to be all things to all people at all the time.
Yes.
And that's how I'm going to be successful in this business.
Yes.
And I will tell you most of the top producers that I've met and work with, that's not the case. They have a specific niche of business that they are very, very good at. They all work really hard. I'm not saying that we talked about this before the show. There's this myth of balance, and the myth, I think, isn't that you can't achieve balance, but it's this ethereal thing that's easy, right? Like balance is supposed to be effortless, and it's not effortless. It's a ton of work to be, quote, balanced, unquote.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Let's dig into process. As someone who isn't a process guy yet, isn't a process guy much, but you really dig business planning. Is probably that project manager background piece of you, right?
I like PowerPoint.
Yes. I like PowerPoint too, but only because it helps me remember stuff. So how do you approach your business planning, and how does that fit into helping you get balance?
I approach it as something I have to do. I'm the CEO of my business. My husband is my co-CEO. Annually I do
Who
it.
wins ties when you disagree?
Oh, I do all the time.
I figured, right. Come on.
I'm the face. I'm the face.
Oh, got it. My bad.
So he, or me, I should say, business planning in November. What I usually do is I have a Excel spreadsheet of my entire business history from the get-go.
Do you have a template of that you'd be willing to share?
Yeah,
maybe
totally.
Not, I mean, I've got
formulas. I've got formulas. I've got everything. I've got tabs all the way across the bottom since I started.
If you'll email that to Kathy, we'll send that to everyone that's on the show.
Yeah, I definitely will.
Just clean anything out that's too personal.
I've got average sale price, formulas, all that stuff.
Good.
Formulas. So I look at, I love formulas.
Yeah.
Excel.
Nerd.
So, totally, yeah. So not afraid to say it.
Good.
So I start out by just analyzing my past year. Where did my business come from? Where's my average sales price? How many transactions did I close? And I kind of start there and reflect back.
Yep.
What did I do? What can I do differently?
Yep.
And then what I do is I look at, starting on one facet, where did my business come from? Last year, referral. 2 open houses.
Right.
So I think, okay, well, I've got the referral thing down. Open houses, I do good at those. Maybe I should do a couple more.
How do I scale that?
Yeah, exactly. Right. And then I said, well, what am I missing? And then I, balance that with what can I handle next year? So for me, I think for the last 2 years, every single year I've grappled with, should I add a farm? Should I add a farm?
Right.
And this year I'm finally ready.
Yeah.
Because I have the time. I can't commit to a farm if I can't actually walk it and work it. So now I have the time. So I do that. I map it out month by month. What am I going to try to achieve? I set goals for myself.
Right.
I want to do 2 open houses a month. I want to walk the farm. I want to mail. It's the classic, you got to write down your goals.
Yep.
So I do that, and then I revisit it. I revisit it as the year goes on.
How often do you revisit it?
Quarterly, at least. I would say quarterly because, because again, where I'm not looking at for me, I'm not looking at financial goals on a quarterly basis. I kind of have annual financial goals, but you don't know what's going to happen.
Sure.
My clients are mostly families, and they don't want to move in January, February, March. So my Q1 is
slow.
It's slow, but it's a lot of hand-holding, introduction,
prepping.
Education, prepping, which is fine. So I just try to revisit it, and if I think something's working, amp it up. If something happens personally,
take it somewhere else.
Yeah, do that. So it's a fluid process.
And do you business plan for, time off? Do you structure that in? When do you plan your vacations?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't business plan for vacations.
You should.
I probably should. Well, and you know what's
Should's a bad word. You could.
Well, I could. No, and I think it's one of those things where in my head I know what we've created. Right. Every year we go to Tahoe for a week around February. Every year we go camping at the end of July. I kind of know when it's going to happen. So in one way,
it's in there. It's just not on there.
Yeah, it is. It's not a part of my business plan. I'll have to add that in.
Think about adding.
No, it's cool. No, it makes sense. Yeah. I mean, I know we would all benefit from
the threats to time.
Yes.
Right. Anything that's a threat to time should go on that. Yeah. So CRM. Let's talk about that. How do you stay in touch? You've obviously been very successful at referral business. Do you use a CRM database? How do you stay in touch? How do you turn that those human beings that know you, trust you, and love you, how do you turn that into transactions?
So right now, I use Outlook because it's what I know. It's where I came from.
Yep.
I've got notes. I've got calendar reminders. You know, I do the classic birthdays. Yep. I do closing escrows on the calendar, so I'm always reaching out. Hey, can you believe it's been 5 years? Or you know, I'm always doing that sort of thing.
Right.
I put lots of notes in their contact portion, so I know their kids, about what age they are. Oh, did she try out for soccer? You know, just to do that sort of thing.
Right.
Oftentimes, I'm the agent when people, hey, I need some referrals for dentists or doctors. Right. You know, I'll put that in. Did you like Dr. So-and-so? Just to try to keep it personal.
Right.
And so that I don't forget.
Right. How many people are in your database?
Oh, it's horrible. I probably don't even know.
Just give me your best guess.
I would say probably 150 to 200.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's also something I'm constantly going through and revising and
updating and purging.
Like if I don't know who this person is, boom, you know, delete. I'm not just going to keep them in there, and I try to keep it all categorized: vendors, people I work with. You know, I do have a hierarchy kind of.
Force ranking, kind of. You got your A's, your B's, and your C's. Okay.
Exactly.
How do you treat your A's different?
I just, I just try to reach out to them more. You know, I feel like I do know my A's better.
Sure.
So I can reach out to them more. I have, every once in a while, hey, let's get together and let's just go have lunch. You know, I try to do it is much more of a personal connection.
Right.
With my A's. And quite honestly, I'm still trying to figure that out because I'm at the point now where I do have people who have referred me multiple clients. And so I'm trying what would be something just nice to do for them to say thank you.
Right.
Because I do appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's amazing. Those are great people to have.
Yes, they are. Yeah. Yes, they are. Okay. So you've got your tips, just kind of summarizing everything that we've talked about here. First piece I like is be strategic. Just touch on that.
So I would say be strategic. It's kind of in the way of being intentional. I put a lot of thought into things. I really try to look at the big picture and analyze where I'm at and not just jump and I kind of try to be more patient with making my decisions, which is hard. It's really hard for me.
Yeah. I suffer from that.
Yeah, I'm very impulsive, and so I try
like to call it decisive. It sounds better that way, but
I like that
but it really is impulsive. Yeah.
I do. Yeah. But I try to ask lots of questions, get feedback from people to help that.
Now it's interesting. What do you see for you as the difference between strategic and intentional? How are those two things different? Or it's one the planning process and one's an execution process?
Yeah, it's hard to articulate for me. I feel like I'm very intentional in my decision making as it relates to my family, to my personal life. To me, intentional has a direct line to personal life.
Right. Strategic's a little more business.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Okay. How I'm going to approach my business.
Yeah. And, again, little 2-year-old, 36 kids live in a shoe. But, Do you have something in your life that you're passionate enough about to make it more important than your work? And if you don't, go find something.
Yeah. Oh,
because then you aren't going to have balance as a human being because you're not a balanced human being.
Well, it's back to business planning. Every single business plan you see has spiritual or personal goals.
I mean, if you love to travel, travel more. If you love
wine,
drink more. All right. If you love whatever,
gardening, whatever it is.
Yeah, gardening is super boring though. Don't pick that.
Hey,
I'm sorry, I'm kidding. That's awesome for some people.
Yawn. Yeah.
All right. Don't overextend. What's that mean?
So don't overextend is also, again, one of the things I really try to do is I look at my week and I do a lot of scheduling with regards to time blocking.
Mm-hmm.
I try to map out what am I doing on these days. Don't make sure that I can't overpromise and underdeliver.
Mm-hmm.
Know my boundaries.
You'll know if you're overextending. It's directly proportional to the amount that you say no to stuff.
Yes.
So if you want an easy way to measure how are you doing on this, pay attention to how often you've said no.
Yes.
If you haven't said no in weeks, months, or years, then you're overextending. And you are sacrificing yourself and your happiness for someone else's.
Yes.
Now, there's a certain amount that we have to do in our lives. We run around on this planet with other human beings. We don't get what we want, when we want, whenever we want, unless we're 2 years old and we throw tantrums, which is kind of cool to do as an adult every once in a while. It's sort of fun. But other than that, you got to start to say no to some things and no to some people, and just monitor that. Just pay attention to that in your life. See how you do.
Be aware.
Set clients' expectations. What's that mean?
Well, that's obviously, again, back to the over-promising and under-delivering.
Right.
I do a lot of, like when I put together escrows and whatnot, timelines, fluid timelines, again, knowing the market. Some of that goes back to knowing the market. I mean, I met with some people yesterday, and I was like, I just want to let you know this is not going to be a fast process.
Right.
And thank God that they are,
cool
doing well, and they're doing their work. They're starting now. They don't want to move till the summer.
Right.
I said, this is great because it's not going to happen with the first house you find.
Right.
So it's being honest. I think some of it goes back to honesty, and it's challenging when we have clients that come in and think that they can, wheel and deal in this market and cut a deal here, and you just gotta say sorry.
Right.
Sorry.
Right. And then the support network. Has that just been sort of just happened, or has that been really purposeful on your part?
Very purposeful. I think that anyone who chooses to be in this career, you need to have people, whether they're friends, family, coworkers, a dog, whoever it is you talk to, a phone.
Right.
I don't even know if he won last night.
Right.
Watch the Oscars. Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah, her.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay.
The Oscars were on last night?
Yeah, they were on. I recorded it.
No way. What? I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. Red carpet's totally my thing. Get yourself.
So anyway, I think that you have to have someone you can talk to, who can either talk to, because it's hard when your friend who you think is a sure thing goes and works with someone else.
Right.
And that hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts.
Yeah, sure. It's personal.
It's very personal. And so I think that you need to have people who will be there for you and at the same time have an outlet like we talked about. If it's a physical, I'm going to go hit a boxing bag.
See, now you're where I am.
I know. Yes. I'm going to go, hike a mountain.
Not where I am.
Yeah.
But whatever's your thing.
But yeah, I just think that you have to have that in order to sustain in this business.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's really your, your support network for functionality.
Yeah.
And then your support network for your mentality.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So your support network around, okay, I've got a kid who can help. How's this going to all work together?
Oh, yeah.
And then your support network just for taking care of yourself.
Yes. Yes.
How are you we got into this business because the freedom was so beautiful.
Exactly.
And the freedom is
how did you lose it?
Well, you gave it all away.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So sacrifice a little bit of that freedom to the real estate god so that you can get what you want by having some structure. We have, think that's good. Oh, great. Thank you for the thank you from the audience. We always appreciate that. So appreciate, Katie, thank you so much for being here. Your insight and sharing is awesome.
Thank you.
Go take care of those 36 kids.
My babies.
Yes. And I'm sure I will see you around. But again,